Dante Moretti had 3 rules for survival in a world designed to break him. Never show weakness, never trust a doctor who promised miracles, and never, under any circumstances, let anyone forget that the wheelchair made him more dangerous, not less. Sitting in the marble conference room of his Tribeca penthouse, watching his captains shift uncomfortably under his gaze, he realized he'd just broken rule number 2. The doctor who'd made the promise wasn't offering a miracle. She was offering the truth, and the truth was going to burn his entire world to ash. The conference room gleamed like a throne room. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked Manhattan. The custom obsidian table cost more than most homes. His captains wore $1,000 suits. These men had killed for lesser insults than being kept waiting. Dante sat at the head in his sleek wheelchair, matte black with chrome details that caught light like knives. The chair wasn't medical equipment. It was part of his armor. A reminder that 8 years ago, a car bomb had tried to end him, and he'd survived, built an empire from that hospital bed. His uncle Marco stood at his right hand, silver-haired and distinguished, the man who'd raised him after his father's death, the man who translated Dante's will into action. Business proceeded as usual. A territorial dispute in Queens, a shipment issue at the docks, the usual blood and money that kept the machine running. Every decision flowed through Marco, every order executed by his network. Then security escorted someone in, Dr. Isla Rodriguez, not what anyone expected. Late 20s, sharp-featured, wearing practical scrubs instead of designer clothes, the 5th physical therapist in 2 years. The others had quit within months. She didn't smile at Dante, didn't offer condolences about his condition, didn't react to the room full of men who'd buried enemies in construction foundations. She walked directly to him, extended her hand. "Mr. Moretti, I'm here to tell you why you can't walk, and I don't think you're going to like the answer." The room went silent. Every captain turned. Marco's expression flickered, just for a second, something that looked like fear. Dante studied her. Most doctors approached him with pity or false hope. This one looked at him like a puzzle she intended to solve. "That's a bold opening, Dr. Rodriguez." "I don't believe in wasting time." Her handshake was firm, professional. "Especially not yours." Marco stepped forward. "Dr. Rodriguez, perhaps we should schedule a proper appointment. Mr. Moretti is conducting business." "This is business." Isla didn't look at Marco. Her focus stayed locked on Dante. "I've reviewed your medical files, all of them, including the ones from the hospital 8 years ago. I have questions." Dante felt something shift in his chest, curiosity mixed with caution. "What kind of questions?" "The kind best discussed in private." She glanced around the room. "Unless you want your entire organization to hear that your current condition doesn't match your diagnosis." The captains exchanged looks. Marco's jaw tightened. Dante made his decision in seconds. "Everyone out. Marco, handle the Queen's situation. I'll call you later." "Dante, I don't think," Marco began. "Out." Dante's voice carried the weight of absolute authority. The room emptied. Marco was last to leave, his eyes lingering on Ela, with something that made Dante's instincts scream. But Marco said nothing, just closed the door behind him. Alone, Isla pulled a tablet from her bag. "Your medical suite. Where is it?" "Down the hall," Dante gestured. "You want to examine me?" "I want to show you something impossible." The medical suite was state-of-the-art. Dante spared no expense on his health. Examination table, imaging equipment, a pharmacy's worth of medications, everything prescribed by his trusted physician, everything monitored by Marco. Isla connected her tablet to the large screen on the wall. Images filled the display. Scans of Dante's spine from 8 years ago, right after the bombing. "This is your spine immediately post-accident." She highlighted areas with her finger. "Significant trauma. 3 fractured vertebrae. Severe swelling. The doctors predicted permanent paralysis. They were right to predict it." Dante had seen these images before, memorized every break, every damaged piece of himself. "I'm aware." "Now look at this." She pulled up new scans. Recent ones. "This is your spine from last month. Standard follow-up imaging. He studied them. The fractures had healed, the swelling long gone. His spine looked intact. I don't understand. That's the problem, Mr. Moretti. Neither did I. Isla zoomed in on specific sections. Your spinal cord shows no permanent damage. The fractures healed normally. There's no structural reason for your paralysis. The room tilted. What are you saying? I'm saying your current paralysis isn't from the explosion. Dante's mind raced. 8 years in this chair. 8 years of building his empire around this limitation. 8 years of doctors telling him the damage was permanent, irreversible. Then why can't I walk? That's what I need to determine. Isla moved closer. Your paralysis is neurological, not structural. Something is interfering with the nerve signals from your brain to your legs, but it's not the original injury. Something like what? His voice came out harder than intended. I won't speculate without tests. She met his eyes. But I've seen this presentation before, in poisoning cases. The word hung in the air like smoke. Poisoning. Someone deliberately keeping him paralyzed. Someone with access. Someone he trusted. You think someone's been poisoning me? Not a question. I think someone's been maintaining your paralysis. The explosion damaged your spine temporarily, but you should have recovered. Instead, something has been preventing that recovery, actively, consistently, for 8 years. Dante's hands gripped his armrests. What do you need? Blood work, tissue samples, and complete honesty about your daily routine. Every medication, every supplement, every single thing you consume regularly. He nodded. Done. But Dr. Rodriguez, Isla, tell no one about this. Especially not Marco. Her eyes narrowed. Your uncle? Especially him. 3 days passed, like years. Dante maintained his routine perfectly. Business meetings, territory discussions, the normal flow of power and violence. But inside, questions consumed him. Who had daily access to him? Marco, his personal chef, his assistant, his driver, his physician, all people he'd trusted for years, some for decades. He watched Marco differently now. The way his uncle personally brought his morning supplements, the careful attention to his medication schedule, the concerned questions about his health. Behaviors that had seemed loving now looked sinister. Isla returned on the 4th day, escorted by security, looking grim. Dante dismissed everyone from his office. She placed a folder on his desk. Preliminary toxicology results. He opened it. Medical jargon filled the pages. One phrase jumped out. Unknown compound detected in blood serum. What does that mean? It means there's something in your system that shouldn't be there. Isla pulled up chemical formulas on her tablet. This compound is rare, synthetic. It causes progressive nerve damage in small doses. But the damage is reversible if administration stops. How is it administered? Orally? Mixed with food or medication? She paused. It has a short half-life, breaks down quickly in the body, which means for it to show up in your blood work, you must be taking it regularly. Daily, probably. Dante's breakfast routine was sacred. Coffee, eggs, toast, and the supplements Marco brought personally. The doctors say these will help your recovery, his uncle had said 8 years ago, pressing pills into his palm in that hospital room. 8 years of daily supplements. 8 years of Marco's careful attention. 8 years of trusting the man who'd raised him after his father died. I need you to test something. Dante reached into his desk drawer, pulled out the bottle of supplements. These. I take them every morning. Isla examined the bottle. Who provides these? My uncle. He says they're for recovery. Vitamins, minerals, nerve support. She opened the bottle, poured several pills into a specimen bag. I'll have these analyzed immediately. Do you have others? Different medications? He provided everything. His pain medication, his anti-inflammatories, the protein powder for his morning shakes. All of it prescribed or suggested by his physician. All of it monitored by Marco. How long will the analysis take? He asked. 2 days. Maybe 3. She stood. In the meantime, don't take anything. Tell your uncle you're feeling sick, stomach issues. Buy yourself time. And if the supplements are poisoned, then we'll know who's been keeping you in that chair. Dante couldn't stop his mind from going back, remembering he'd been 23 when the car bomb exploded, young, ambitious. His father had just named him heir, made it official. Marco had been passed over. At the time, Dante hadn't thought much of it. Marco was his father's brother, but Dante was blood, direct line. The organization followed tradition. Sons inherited. Marco had smiled at the announcement, embraced him. You'll be a great leader, nephew. I'll help you every step. 1 year later, the bomb. Dante remembered fragments, turning the ignition, the explosion, waking up in the hospital, the doctor's grim face. The damage is severe. You may never walk again. Marco had been there, holding his hand. We'll find who did this. We'll make them pay. They'd blamed the Calabrese family, a rival organization, launched a war that lasted months, destroyed the Calabrese completely, took their territory, built Dante's reputation as ruthless. But what if they'd blamed the wrong people? What if the real enemy had been standing beside him the whole time? His phone buzzed. Isla. We need to meet. Not at your place, somewhere secure. His chest tightened. You found something? Yes. And it's worse than we thought. They met in a safe house Dante kept for emergencies. A modest apartment in Brooklyn. No one knew about it, except his most trusted guard, Vincent. Even Marco didn't know. Isla arrived with a laptop and fear in her eyes. The supplements are loaded with the compound, every single pill. Dante's world narrowed to that single fact. 8 years. Daily poison. From the man who'd raised him. There's more. She pulled up files. I did some research. This compound? It's not commercially available. It has to be custom synthesized. Very expensive. Very deliberate. Someone paid to have this made specifically for me. Yes. And the dosage is precise. Enough to maintain nerve damage without killing you. Whoever designed this knew exactly what they were doing. Dante's hands clenched. What happens if I stop taking it? Your nerves will begin to recover. Slowly. With physical therapy, you could potentially regain function. She hesitated. But there's a problem. What? If whoever's doing this notices you've stopped taking the supplements, they might escalate, change tactics. You'd be vulnerable during recovery. Weak, easy to finish off. He understood. So I have to pretend everything's normal. Keep taking the poison while we figure out who's behind this. Can you fake it? Palm the pills? Yes. His mind already working through logistics. But I need proof. Concrete evidence. Something that ties this directly to Marco. Dante began his investigation carefully. He couldn't let Marco know. Couldn't tip his hand. So he looked into his uncle's background. Things he'd never questioned before. Financial records showed regular payments to someone named Dr. Raymond Foster, Marco's college roommate. The same doctor who'd taken over Dante's care 48 hours after the bombing, replacing the original physician who'd wanted more neurological testing. Dr. Foster's medical notes emphasized irreversible spinal damage, recommended the wheelchair, prescribed the supplements, all while the scans showed healing. The payments to Foster had continued for 8 years, $50,000 every month. Dante's money funneled through shell companies Marco controlled. He dug deeper, found similar payments to the pharmacist who filled his prescriptions, to the chef who prepared his meals, to the assistant who managed his schedule. Marco had built an entire network. Everyone with access to Dante was on his payroll. Vincent knocked on the safe house door, his most loyal guard, the one man Dante trusted absolutely. Boss, we found something. About your previous physical therapist. Which one? The fourth, Dr. Hannah Price, the one who supposedly quit 2 years ago. Dante remembered her vaguely. Competent, asked a lot of questions, then suddenly gone. What about her? She didn't quit. She disappeared. The file Vincent brought made Dante's blood run cold. Dr. Hannah Price had filed a report with the Medical Licensing Board 3 days before disappearing, flagging serious inconsistencies in a patient's diagnosis. The patient name was redacted. But the timeline matched. She'd suspected something, started asking questions, then vanished. We found her apartment records, Vincent continued. The place was cleared out within 24 hours of her last shift with you. Professional job. Too clean. Did Marco order it? Dante's voice was ice. I talked to Tony, one of Marco's crew. Got him drunk. He admitted there was a cleanup 2 years ago. Said Marco told them the doctor was a liability. Asked too many questions. Ela paled. He killed her. Because she was getting close to the truth. Where's the body? Dante asked. Tony didn't say. But there's a construction site in Queens. Marco's crew poured a foundation there 2 years ago, right after Dr. Price disappeared. Dante made a decision. Get excavation equipment. Tonight. Dig it up. Boss, if we find a body, that's evidence of murder. We'd have to involve authorities. Not authorities. Family council. Dante's mind worked through the politics. I need proof Marco killed her. Proof he's been lying to me. Proof that turns the captains against him. A body does that. Vincent nodded. I'll handle it personally. They found Dr. Hannah Price's body at 3 a.m, encased in concrete, neck broken. The forensics were clear. Murder, then disposal. Dante sat in the safe house, staring at the photographs Vincent brought. Another innocent person dead. Because of him. Because she tried to help him. Ela was shaking. I could be next. If Marco suspects, I know. He won't touch you. Dante's voice carried absolute certainty. I'm assigning Vincent as your personal protection. 24 hours. You don't go anywhere without him. Dante, maybe I should just leave. Disappear. This is too dangerous. If you leave, Marco wins. He keeps me paralyzed. Keeps controlling the organization through me. Eventually kills me and takes over completely. He met her eyes. You're the only person who's told me the truth in 8 years. I won't let him kill you for it. She studied him. Why are you protecting me? I'm just the therapist. No. You're the person who saw what everyone else missed. You're brave enough to speak up when you could have walked away. He paused. And you're the only one I trust right now. Something shifted between them. Not romance. Not yet. But connection. 2 people against a conspiracy. What's the plan? She asked. Exposure. Public. At the family summit. The annual family summit was in 3 weeks. Every made man in the organization would attend, captains, soldiers, associates, all gathering to discuss territory and strategy. It was also where leadership challenges happened, where evidence was presented, where votes were cast. Dante needed those 3 weeks, needed them desperately, because he'd made another decision, a dangerous one. I'm stopping the supplements, he told Ela. Starting today. Her eyes widened. That's insane. Marco will notice. Let him notice. I'll tell him I'm trying a new treatment. That you recommended it. He'll be suspicious, but he won't move against me openly. Not yet. What about recovery? Your nerves won't heal in 3 weeks. They don't have to heal completely. They just have to heal enough. He met her gaze. Can you do it? Can you get me standing in 3 weeks? She was quiet for a long moment. It'll be the most painful thing you've ever experienced. The nerves waking up after 8 years? It's like being set on fire from the inside. I don't care about pain. Can you do it? Maybe. If you work harder than you've ever worked. If you push past limits you didn't know you had. She paused. Why? Why take this risk? Because I'm going to walk into that summit. I'm going to stand up in front of every captain, and I'm going to show them what Marco's taken from me. The first week was hell. Dante stopped taking the supplements, told Marco he was trying a new protocol from Dr. Rodriguez. Marco's expression had darkened, but he'd said nothing. The physical therapy started immediately. Ela brought equipment to the safe house. Parallel bars, resistance bands, medical monitors. We're targeting specific nerve pathways, she explained. Electrical stimulation to wake them up, then movement exercises to rebuild the connections. The pain was beyond anything Dante had imagined. Not the sharp pain of injury. This was deep, burning, like his legs were being rebuilt from the inside out. Every session left him shaking, sweating, wanting to quit. "Again," Isla commanded. 10 more reps." "I can't." "You can. Focus on the rage. Everything Marco took from you. Channel it." He did. Thought about 8 years stolen? About Dr. Price murdered? About every day spent in that chair because his own uncle wanted power. His right leg twitched, barely, but movement. Isla's face lit up. "There! Do you feel that?" He felt it. The first voluntary muscle contraction in 8 years. Tears burned his eyes. Again. They worked for hours. His body screamed. His mind pushed harder. By the end of week 1, he could create consistent twitches in both legs. Week 2 brought complications. Marco started asking questions. "You seem tired, nephew. Is this new treatment working?" "Early stages," Dante lied smoothly. "Dr. Rodriguez says it takes time." "Perhaps you should return to your regular supplements, for safety." "I'm fine, uncle. Trust the process." Marco's eyes narrowed. "I always want what's best for you, you know that." "Of course." Dante smiled, performing normalcy while rage burned underneath. The physical therapy intensified. Isla pushed him beyond pain into something transcendent. His nerves were rewiring, the poison's effects slowly reversing. By day 10, he could bear weight on his legs with support. For 3 seconds before collapse. "Not enough," he gasped. "The summit's in 11 days. "Then we work harder." Isla adjusted the parallel bars. Again, Vincent brought updates from the outside. Marco was getting nervous, asking the other captains about Dante's behavior, suggesting he seemed unstable, planting seeds. "He's preparing," Dante realized, "getting ready to move against me." "Then we move faster," Isla said. "Stand up. Now." He gripped the bars, pulled. His legs trembled, threatened to buckle, but they held. 5 seconds. 10. 15. "Holy hell," Vincent whispered. "Boss, you're standing." Dante looked down at his legs, supporting his weight. "After 8 years. Again. I need to do it again." Week 3. The summit was in 4 days. Dante could stand for 30 seconds, walk 3 steps with support. It wasn't enough, but it would have to be. Marco called an emergency meeting of the top captains. Dante wasn't invited. Vincent reported back. "He's proposing a temporary transition of authority. Says your health is declining. That you need to focus on recovery. He'd take over operations until you're ready." "Which means never." Dante's jaw clenched. "How many captains support him?" "Maybe half. The others are loyal to you, but they're worried. They've noticed you disappearing, getting distant. Marco's using that." Dante made his decision. "Move up my timeline. We present at the summit. All the evidence, financial records, Dr. Price's body, the toxicology reports, everything." "That gives us 3 days to prepare," Isla said. "Are you ready?" He wasn't. His legs still shook. His steps were uncertain, but rage and determination filled the gaps. "I'll be ready." They worked around the clock. Dante practiced standing, walking, fighting his body's resistance. Isla documented everything: his progress, the medical evidence, the timeline of poison. Vincent gathered the loyal captains quietly, prepared them. "Stay neutral at the summit. When the boss makes his move, back him." The pieces aligned. 3 days. Then, revolution. The night before the summit, Marco came to Dante's penthouse. Unexpected, unannounced. "We need to talk," his uncle said. Dante sat in his wheelchair, performing weakness. "About what?" "About tomorrow. About the future." Marco poured himself whiskey. "I've been thinking. You've carried this burden for 8 years. Led us. Grown the organization. But at what cost to yourself?" "I'm fine, Marco." "Are you? You seem distracted lately. Distant. The men are worried." He sipped his drink. "I think it's time you stepped back. Let me handle operations. You focus on your health, on recovery." There it was. The move Dante had been expecting. You want me to step down, temporarily, until you're stronger. I'd hold your seat, keep it warm. Then, when you're ready, I'll never be ready. That's what you're counting on. Marco's expression didn't change. I don't know what you mean. Yes, you do. Dante let steel enter his voice. But we'll discuss it tomorrow, at the summit, in front of everyone. His uncle's eyes went cold. Dante, don't do something you'll regret. The only thing I regret is trusting you. He gestured to the door. Leave, now! Marco set down his glass. I raised you, after your father died, taught you everything. And this is how you repay me? Tomorrow, uncle. You'll get your answer tomorrow. The summit convened at noon. Neutral ground. A warehouse the organization owned. 60 men filled the space. Every captain, every key soldier, the entire power structure. Dante arrived in his wheelchair, Vincent pushing, Marco at his side, playing the devoted uncle. But tension crackled. Everyone felt it. The meeting started normally. Territory reports, financial updates, the business of organized crime. Then Dante called for the floor. I have evidence to present regarding a threat to our organization. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Marco stiffened. 8 years ago, a car bomb nearly killed me. We blamed the Calabrese family, went to war, destroyed them. Dante paused. But we were wrong. The real enemy was closer. What are you talking about? One captain asked. Vincent wheeled in a large screen, connected a laptop. Images filled the display. These are my medical scans. From 8 years ago and from last month. Dante gestured. Notice the difference? My spine healed. Years ago, there's no structural reason for my paralysis. The room erupted in confused voices. Marco stood. Dante, what is this nonsense? It's the truth. He pulled up the next image. This is a toxicology report, showing a synthetic compound in my blood, a poison that causes nerve damage. That's been in my system for 8 years. Silence fell. Someone's been poisoning me, Dante continued. Maintaining my paralysis, keeping me weak, controlling me. This is insane, Marco said. Who would? You would, Dante locked eyes with his uncle. The supplements you brought me every day. For 8 years. They contained the poison. He displayed the lab results, the chemical analysis, the supplements broken down, compound matched. This is fabricated, Marco protested. Some doctor's fantasy. Dante's been under stress. The medication has made him paranoid. Explain Dr. Hannah Price. Vincent pulled up the next image. A photograph of a body, concrete covered. Broken neck. My 4th physical therapist, the one who supposedly quit 2 years ago. We found her buried in a foundation your crew poured. Gasps echoed through the warehouse. Captains exchanged looks. She filed a report before she died, Dante said, noting inconsistencies in my diagnosis. She suspected something, so you had her killed. I did no such thing, Tony confessed. Your own soldier. Said you ordered the cleanup, called her a liability. Marco's face reddened. Tony's a drunk. He'll say anything. Explain the payments to Dr. Foster, your college roommate, the doctor who took over my care after the bombing. $50,000 a month for 8 years. What was he being paid for, Marco? The evidence kept coming. Financial records, witness statements, the timeline of events, each piece building on the last. This is a coup, Marco finally said, changing tactics. Dante is trying to remove me. He's manufactured evidence, turned loyal men against family, against blood. Blood? Dante's voice cut like a blade. You poisoned your own nephew, kept him paralyzed, murdered innocent people. All for what? Power? For the family. Marco's composure cracked. Your father was weak, made you heir because of tradition. Not because you were ready. Not because you were strong enough. I've been holding this organization together. Me. While you sat in that chair. You put me in this chair. Yes. Marco's admission rang through the warehouse. Because you were a stupid boy, 23 years old, playing at being boss. You would have destroyed everything our father built, everything I built. So I took steps, made sure you'd need me, made sure I could guide you, control you." The captains recoiled, horrified. Marco had just confessed to everything. "The bomb was a cover," Dante said quietly. "You'd been poisoning me for months before, weakening my spine. Then, the explosion, timed perfectly, blamed on enemies. And when I survived, you kept poisoning me, kept me dependent. It worked, didn't it? Look at what we've built, the territory we've taken, the money we've made." Marco gestured broadly. "All of it because I was truly in control. You were just the face. A face you planned to replace." Dante pulled up the final piece of evidence. Meeting notes from 3 days ago. Marco's proposal to the captains. Temporary transition. You were going to remove me, either force me out or arrange another accident. "You've become a liability," Marco said coldly. "This paranoia, these accusations. You're not fit to lead anymore. Vote then." Dante looked at the assembled men. "Everyone who believes Marco should take control, raise your hand." Not a single hand rose. The captains had heard the confession, seen the evidence. They knew the truth. Marco's face went white, then red, then something beyond rage. "You ungrateful, I made you. I could have let you die in that hospital. Instead, I saved you, raised you. And this is how you repay me? You didn't save me. You imprisoned me." Dante gripped his armrests. "But here's what you didn't count on. The poison's effects are reversible." "What?" "I stopped taking your supplements 3 weeks ago. I've been in physical therapy, recovering what you stole." Marco laughed, bitter, desperate. "You can't walk. You'll never walk. I made sure of that. Watch me." Dante placed his hands on the wheelchair arms. The room held its breath. Even Marco went still. Dante pushed. Muscles screamed. Nerves fired. His legs trembled. But they held. He stood. For the first time in 8 years, Dante Moretti stood on his own 2 feet. The warehouse erupted. Shouts, gasps. Some captains stood in respect, others in shock. Marco stumbled backward. "No, that's impossible. 3 weeks of work, 3 weeks of pain." Dante's legs shook, but he stood. Every agonizing session was worth it. To see your face right now. He took 1 step, then another. Isla appeared at his side, ready to catch him if he fell, but he didn't fall. 3 steps across the warehouse floor. 3 steps that proved everything. That his paralysis was manufactured. That Marco had stolen 8 years. That the truth was stronger than lies. "You wanted me still," Dante said. "Controlled, dependent. Now you'll know how it feels." He nodded to Vincent. Guards moved forward, grabbed Marco. The old man struggled. "This is a mistake. I'm family. Blood." "You stopped being family the moment you poisoned me." Dante's voice carried no emotion. "Family council. Vote on Marco's punishment." The vote was unanimous. Exile wasn't enough. Execution was too quick. They chose something else. Marco would be imprisoned, given the same compound he'd used on Dante, experience the same paralysis, the same helplessness, the same stolen years. Poetic justice. The aftermath took weeks to settle. Marco was taken to a secure facility, given his first dose of poison, monitored by doctors who ensured he'd survive, paralyzed, conscious, aware of everything he'd lost. Dante moved through the organization, removed everyone on Marco's payroll, the compromised doctors, the paid-off pharmacist, the loyal soldiers who'd known the truth. Dr. Foster was arrested, confessed everything in exchange for witness protection, confirmed Marco had synthesized the compound, administered it carefully, maintained the deception for years. The bomb had been real, but the Calabrese family was innocent. They'd been scapegoats. Dante issued a formal apology to the survivors, offered reparations. Some accepted, others wanted blood. He couldn't blame them. His recovery continued. Isla worked with him daily, building strength, correcting 8 years of atrophy. The progress was slow, painful, but real. "How long until I'm fully recovered?" he asked during one session. 6 months. Maybe a year. She adjusted the resistance bands. Your body needs time. You're rebuilding everything. I have time now. He managed 10 reps, his personal record, thanks to you. She smiled. I just read the scans correctly. You did the hard part. You risked your life. Marco would have killed you, but he didn't. Because you protected me. She met his eyes. Why, really? He considered. Because you told me the truth, when everyone else lied. 3 months later, Dante walked into a family meeting. No wheelchair, just a slight limp that would fade with more therapy. The captains stood in respect, not because of fear, because of what he'd survived, what he'd overcome. The true story now. Ela attended as his medical advisor. More than that, something undefined, trust, partnership. Maybe eventually more, but for now, enough. Vincent reported on Marco's condition. Still paralyzed, aware, angry, he wants to see you. No. Dante's answer was immediate. He gets nothing from me, not even the satisfaction of my attention. What about when the compound's effects wear off? Should we keep administering it? Dante thought about revenge, about justice, about becoming the monster Marco claimed he'd prevented. No, let him recover naturally. Then he faces trial. For Dr. Price's murder. For conspiracy. Let the legal system handle him. Some captains looked disappointed. They'd wanted blood, but others nodded, understanding. This was leadership, choosing justice over vengeance. The meeting proceeded. Territory discussions, financial reports, business as usual. But different. Dante was different. No longer the boss who overcame disability. Now the boss who'd survived a decade-long assassination attempt by his own blood. That made him more dangerous than any wheelchair ever could. 6 months after the summit, Dante stood in his penthouse conference room. The same room where this had all started, where Ela had first told him the truth. He walked to the windows without assistance, looked out over Manhattan, his city, his empire, built on lies, now standing on truth. His legs still ached sometimes, phantom pains from nerves remembering what they'd been denied, but he could walk, run, fight. Everything Marco had stolen was returning. Ela joined him at the window. How are you feeling? Strong, whole. He turned to her. Thank you doesn't seem adequate. You already thanked me. With your life, your trust. She smiled. That's more than adequate. What will you do now? Your contract is complete. You could go anywhere, work with anyone. I could, she studied him. Or I could stay. Keep working with you if you want. He did want that. As my physical therapist? As your partner, medical advisor, someone who tells you the truth even when it hurts. She paused. Someone you trust. Trust. The thing he'd lost with Marco's betrayal. The thing Isla had given him back. I'd like that. They stood together, looking out at the city. Two people who'd survived conspiracy, murder, poison, and emerged stronger. Dante's 3 new rules for survival. Never confuse loyalty with love. Never stop questioning the story you're told. And never let anyone else decide what you're capable of. The wheelchair sat in the corner, empty, a reminder, not of what he'd lost, but of what he'd reclaimed. His body, his empire, his future. And for the first time in 8 years, that future held hope.